I want to record a dream that I just had. I don't even know where to begin. So I had a dream that it looked like California, and the streets were filled with rubbish bags that were they were really large rubbish bags, like huge, like bigger than any rubbish bag I've ever seen. And they were full of maggots that were spilling out onto the street. And then there was this big cruise ship, like it was huge. And it was literally just like spilling over with people, like people were hanging out of the windows and hanging off the side, like there were so many people it was almost tipping. And this black bear jumped from the boat into the water and swam away like it was swimming for its life. And if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure the state flag of California has a black bear on it. But this bear was running for its life. And then it switched to, I was like, sort of east coast, looking down, like from a bird's eye view, looking down over the east coast, and I could see like Washington DC and New York, and the people were spilling out of their houses, like spilling out of them, falling out of the windows and doors and shops and things like that. And they were all armed with plaques and bats and sticks and weapons, and they set Washington DC on fire. This is the third, I had an incident the other day where, because I'm about to step into the seventh element for real, and my memory's getting wiped of my past, I've noticed I'm having these episodes where it's always when I'm asleep. I don't even know if I'm awake right now. But for over a year, I've been having these incidences on my YouTube where I've realised I've been leaving messages to myself. And it seems like I'm awake, but I'm not. Because I have perfect recall of my dreams in a way that aren't normal. My Instagram is full of it as well. But because I'm becoming the seventh element, I'm living a life now between reality and existence. And the only way I can describe it, it's like I'm a living spirit or the living dead. Like I'm perfectly conscious and perfectly aware, but live like because when you're asleep you see everything, because you're in the consciousness of time when you're asleep, and you have access to all time when you're asleep. It's that, but when you're awake, that's what sitting in the creation frequency is. That's the seventh element, is the creation frequency. And I am now permanently transitioning to live in the creation frequency while living in the frequency of reality, or the 3D world. My Instagram and my YouTube's full of evidence of it, because you'll always hear me say, I need to record this dream, or I had a dream, or I just woke up, or I'm about to go to sleep. But I have had no recollections of me recording any of these incidences, because I'm a scientist and I've been trying to study the science of ascensions, which I created the science of ascensions. I turned the ascension process into a science so that I could understand it. And of course my quantum magnetics, which is manipulating time to manifest reality. And I have this ability to be able to, if I see it in my head and I write it down, it happens in real life. It's all documented on my Instagram and on my YouTube and that. But I had an incident the other day where I saw the American president being attacked. He was having drinks thrown at him and he was being attacked. But one of the last dreams I recorded in my Instagram was of a lot of these American government officials, celebrities, rich and famous people, people of power, being hung upside down in the streets with their throats cut. And, they were bleeding like Mussolini style, hanging up from lampposts, and blood was spilling out onto the street. And the animals came out and started drinking the blood and turned into people, and then the blood in the streets turned to gold, and the people were chopping up bits of the gold and, taking the gold. Again, it's all on my Instagram. So I've always predicted there was going to be civil unrest. I always said it was going to be, it was since the 90s, since the 1990s, I've predicted what's called the cleansing, that it would start in America and sweep the globe. That it would be the end of, dictatorship, dictatorial leadership in these countries where the people's voices aren't being heard. And in America, they're being shut down and drowned out. And there's a thunderstorm coming. And we've got the Lionsgate portal on Sunday. And everything in my gut is telling me that the American government are about to be hung, drawn and quartered by the people. There's a lot of corruption that's about to be exposed, like undeniable proof. And the American people are not going to take it. They're not going to take it anymore, because they're slowly being turned into a fascist state, like becoming like North Korea and communist Russia and all that, like how it used to be. And people are starting to realise. And this dream, the people, when they started descending upon the White House or Washington DC, in the east, people started coming from the north and the west and the south and that as well, to the point where there were so many people in Washington DC, that it actually, the land of it snapped off and floated away into the water, and then whales started jumping over the bit that had broken off. So that suggests to me that either California is about to become independent, or California is going to, I don't know, maybe de-state itself. What does it mean when the flag disowns its own state? It's almost like California is going to become apocalyptic or something. I don't know. But I need to tell everybody, and this is what I'm being told to say, and I've been saying it over and over again in my Instagram: do not be afraid. There are more of you than there are of them. And you will find pretty quickly that the military and law enforcement are on the side of the people. They will be on the side of the people, because they are becoming victims too. So don't be afraid. Your gods, whether it is mythological or theological, whoever it is you believe in, trust and believe me when I say they're watching and they are preparing for war, and they have every single one of your backs. And if you are a good person and you have a pure heart, you have nothing to fear, and this will be over really quick. It's going to be very quick and very sudden. It's not going to be anything that drags out for weeks or months. This is going to be over in a few days. And then America is going to be the light that spreads around the world that heals everybody else on the planet. That's the only way I can describe it. Whatever happens in America affects the rest of the world and saves the people there too. That's all I can say. That's the only way I can describe it. Just don't be afraid. You have a lot more backing than you realise. It's just that Odin or Satan and God, Zeus, whoever you believe in, are letting these people get away with so much. This is what they do. They let people think they have the power to let them get away with so much so that their fall from grace is even harder. And these people are going to be wiped from the history books. History is about to be rewritten. So don't be afraid. Hold your head up high and don't be afraid to stand in your truth, because your power lies in your truth. Okay? So I think I'm awake, but I'm not sure because all I'm seeing is white. But my memory of who I was before the seventh element stepped into my life, before the creation frequency, is being wiped. I think I'm awake, but I have to record it anyway. So, but I am probably going to go back to sleep. So I don't know. I'm probably in the creation frequency right now. So yeah, I love you. Mwah. Don't be afraid. Mwah, mwah.